Hello MBA aspirants, in this video we shall appreciate 15 do's in a group discussion. Number 1, make sure your first entry is well planned. It's very important that the first time you enter the discussion you make an impact. You are able to speak for a while and put your point across. So make sure that you position your entry in such a way that you are not camouflaged, you are not embarrassed by others, and that you get some kind of a lead to put your point across. Number 2, if you are the first speaker, understand the difference between starting and initiating the discussion. Now these are two different things. Starting would simply mean that you had an impulse to begin the discussion because you were told that the first speaker takes it all, which may not be true. Because if you start and then you're not able to do a good job there, you're not able to define the framework of the discussion, you're not able to set the path in which the group has to move, then you are in trouble. So initiating would mean that you are able to define the overall framework in which the discussion has to happen. So you are the first speaker, so a lot of responsibility on you to define the agenda for the discussion. It's not just speaking for the sake of speaking, it is speaking for the sake of defining an overall goal for the group, for the sake of defining the path in which the group has to move and eventually be fair to the topic given for discussion. Number 3, establish eye contact with the key participants, but do not ignore the other participants. Now typically we have seen that students keep on looking at those participants who are more reactive, who are more active in the discussion, and the ones who have not been contributing at all are completely ignored. Now you are not the panel, you are not the judge. So it is not your responsibility to assess other people. Please do not be judgmental as you evolve as a participant in the discussion. Make sure that you are giving due respect to all the participants. But yes, do keep in mind the Pareto's rule, the 80-20 rule, which says that 80% of the time look at the dominant speakers, but 20% do look at the other speakers or the other participants as well. Number 4, use a strong voice, clear diction and correct grammar. It's important to use grammar in a correct way. Your verbal usage should be in place as far as possible. However, it's not a test of English language. It's not a test of English proficiency. But you have to keep the basics in mind. Your voice should be loud and clear. You should be able to articulate well, should be fluent, and you should be able to modulate your voice well, introducing some kind of a flavor in your speech as you connect with other members in the group. Number 5, try getting as many likes as possible. You need those likes on that day. It is a situation where you have to showcase your group dynamics, your team skills. You have to win over people, keeping in mind your point also, keeping in mind the fact that you have to put across your viewpoint. You may be contradicting others, but still you have to participate in a way as to make people like you. So there is a way of conducting yourself in the group. Even if you are opposing someone, there is a grace to it. There is a way of taking it forward. And this will get people to like you, to accept you in the group. Number 6, do take counter arguments gracefully and display good listening skills. It is not a debate or a presentation. In a debate, you take a predefined stand, you speak for the motion or you speak against the motion. But in a discussion, you evolve as a participant. So you have to be receptive to what other people are saying. So do not start off in a way which intimidates others, which puts across an opinionated stance which you have taken. However, we suggest that listen well to what others have to say, at the same time have a grip on your point, so strike a balance between listening and speaking. Number 7, do acknowledge the previous speaker before putting across your point of view. Now it is very important that you receive the previous speaker. Somebody just said something before you, so that person has to be acknowledged, that person has to be respected, her participation has to be noted, and then you take it from there. For example, it would be a good strategy to start your point like this. Sir, I have taken a note of what you just said, adding on to your point. Now this acknowledges the other speaker. Just one line there and you have done the needful. You have put across this point to the panel that you are able to receive other people, and at the same time you are able to evolve as a participant. Number 8, do support your viewpoint with examples and facts. See, your point of view has less substance if it is not corroborated, if it is not supported with examples, illustrations and facts. The minute you add an ounce of fact to your point, the whole thing becomes more receivable, the whole thing becomes more persuasive. And we suggest that therefore you should be very well equipped with facts and figures, with current affairs. You should know what is happening around you, so that you come across as somebody who is more informed, who is sensitive to the environment in which he or she is operating. Right? For example, even a topic like 131 crore, burden or a resource. Now, this is a topic which talks about India's population in two ways. It may either be seen as a resource or it may be seen as a burden. But if you have more facts to support how this may be used as a demographic advantage, if you can state certain facts from the Indian economy, if you know about the literacy rate, if you know about the urban-rural split, if you have these facts in place, you come across as a better participant in that group. Number 9, do demonstrate an ability to look at a topic from multiple dimensions. Now, a lot depends on the topic given for discussion. There are topics which are extremely fact-driven. For example, the topic for discussion may be US presidential elections. Now, this becomes extremely dependent on an event, on one particular incident, on one particular piece of fact, and that is US elections. But if you look at certain other topics, they may have a scope for an abstract vibe to be responded to and the topic being treated in a certain other way. For example, the topic for discussion is, do aliens exist? Now, this is a topic where the obvious vibe is a discussion on life beyond Earth, a discussion on conditions supporting life on other planets, on other geographical entities like stars, etc., etc., other galaxies. You may also discuss UFOs, unidentified flying objects. However, the minute somebody looks at the topic in a certain other way, you stretch yourself laterally and you come out with a unique dimension to the topic given for discussion, and that is the meaning of the word alien. Nowhere has it been specified in the topic that the discussion has to be confined to areas like life beyond Earth. You may also treat the topic differently and you may define the word alien as a foreigner. The alien therefore is indicative of that someone who does not fit in the commonplace, that someone who is unique, that someone who is an achiever. For example, a Sachin Tendulkar is an alien in the domain of cricket. Einstein, Newton, they were aliens in the domain of science and physics. So the minute you look at the topic from this perspective, the whole discussion becomes rich in terms of ideas. So you have been able to show an ability to look at the topic from a certain other dimension. So depending upon the topic, we suggest that you dissect it, you look at the keywords, you look at the possibility of treating it differently and adding more fuel to the fire. Number 10, do try to understand the right exit points. It is important for you to deliver a value proposition and then pull out at the right time. Staying in there all that while will get you in trouble. You will be enmeshed in a situation. So you have to decide at what point you have to exit and then pass on the stage to someone else. And passing on the stage should be done in a certain other way. You have to look at someone who is very reactive visibly, who is moving to and fro. He wants to speak, but he's not getting an opportunity. So you can probably look at him and wind your point of discussion so that you can pass on the stage to the next someone. You may also do that by virtue of asking a question. But then too many questions all the time would also not be recommended. So make sure that you have a right plan to exit the discussion at a certain point, beyond which it becomes messy and repetitive. Number 11, do recapitulate the main points of the discussion when required. We understand that discussions tend to get repetitive. The first 3 or 4 minutes are very critical for any discussion. After that, we have seen that discussions reach a level of saturation, and somebody has to add fuel to the discussion. And one way of doing so is recapitulating whatever just happened. So you summarize the main points of the discussion till that point of time, and then that gives you some kind of inertia to participate and move ahead in the discussion. It is also a good way to link all important points till that particular instant, and consolidate the entire core of the discussion. Number 12, to present yourself as a team player with an ability to balance individual excellence and group performance. Now, these are the two dimensions which you have to critically balance. On one side is your performance as an individual, on the other side is your performance as a member of a group. So you have to carry both the dimensions in a certain way. You have to make the panel feel, make others realize that you are a team player, but at the same time you retain your individuality, you're able to contribute in a certain way. Number 13, address group members with respect and dignity. Now, whatever is the stress in the situation, whatever is the pressure on that day, you have to uphold the basics of communication, the basics of etiquettes. You have to address each other in a way which is socially correct, and we typically suggest titles like sir, ma'am, dear friend. These are the different ways in which you can acknowledge the presence of others in a correct way. Number 14, when asked to conclude, summarize the main points of discussion. People normally confuse conclusion with whatever they had said in the course of discussion, which is not true. Conclusion would mean that you are able to summarize whatever happened in the course of discussion. So you have to come out with the main points of discussion. If the topic was a controversial one, then you should be able to state the points for and the points against the topic of discussion, and then very quickly you can plant your opinion also. But largely it is a reflection of whatever happened in the discussion. You are a link between the group and the panel. So you are presenting the group's thought, the group's point of view to the panel. Now, this is what conclusion means. Number 15, maintain a calm and balanced disposition throughout the discussion. It is very easy to say that, but we do understand the challenge on that day. You are nervous, you're bound to be nervous, you tend to go off the handle at times, but remember the duck. If you look at a duck floating and take a section below the surface of water, the animal is struggling to stay afloat. But if you look at the section above the water surface, it is a very, very calm and tranquil feeling. So conduct yourself like the duck. You should be motivated within, but you should be able to conduct yourself in a balanced and poised manner. We hope that these 15 points will help you to do well on that day. Best wishes.